On to Nottingham Forest, Pete. They're linked heavily actually with a move for Victor Osimhen this summer. Is this deal only possible with Champions League qualification?
Yeah, I think it would be fair to say if Nottingham Forest are in the Champions League, they will be in the market for some marquee signings, and there'll be not many bigger than Victor Osimhen. This summer, his future is obviously going to be the subject of intense speculation again, like it was last summer. But we know the Forest owner, Evangelos Makronakis, is hugely ambitious, and he aims to establish the club amongst the top teams in England and Europe. The first protocol is to qualify for the Champions League, where obviously they are well placed to do right now as well. I still think it's a difficult deal to lure Victor Osimhen to the City ground. He's going to be a big transfer fee. I think he's got that £63 million release clause, which is available this summer, and also he's not going to be cheap on the wages either. And the competition for the Nigerian signature will be pretty intense as well. So I think the player himself might have bigger plans than Nottingham Forest. No disrespect to them. I think he'll probably be thinking he wants to join an elite club that's playing regularly in the Champions League, competing for honours. So that's why I think it's a difficult deal to do for Nottingham Forest, because you've got the likes of Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, Arsenal and Liverpool have even been linked with Osimhen as well. So yeah, I think Osimhen probably will have his pick of clubs this summer, because Napoli are ready to sell him on a permanent basis this summer after the deal fell through to go to Chelsea last year, and they had to loan him to Galatasaray later on in the Turkish window. But outstanding player, Osman, great goal scoring record, and that just shows where Forest have come in such a short space of time that they're actually being linked with these players. But I think the only chance it could happen would be Champions League football, but even with that, I think it's still a difficult deal to do.
And Adamola Lookman is another attacking name linked with Forest. Do you see him as someone who could fit in well with Nuno Espirito Santos' system?
Yeah, he'd be perfect for them. As you've seen, we've seen the success of Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, two fast, speedy, direct wingers who've got an eye for goal. Lookman's had another great season for Atalanta. Obviously, he had that bit of a fallout with Gasperini, the coach, after he missed that crucial penalty in the Champions League, so that might push him towards the exit door. And Lookman's got Premier League experience before from his time at Everton and Fulham as well. So look, he's a top player. I think he's coming into the peak of his powers now as well. Again, for Forest, it just shows that they're in there scrapping it out with other teams to try and sign these top players. There'll be a number of clubs who'll be looking at Lookman's situation at Atalanta this year. A number of Italian clubs, a number of other European clubs, and several Premier League clubs will be desperate to offer him the chance to return to England. But yeah, I think if Forest want to sort of build on what they're doing so far, signing a player like Lookman would definitely enhance the squad, and I think he'd be the perfect fit for Nuno, because he can play out wide in the left, he can play down the middle if really needed, and he can play on the right as well. So yeah, top class player. I think if Forest were to get him, it would be a major coup.
And a deal for Nuno Espirito Santo is of top priority for Nottingham Forest at the moment. Do you think they'll be able to get that done before, bigger clubs, for lack of a better term, maybe come circling on the manager who's had just an excellent season?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be doing everything they probably can to try and tie Nuno down to a new contract, and it would be fully deserved, because he has done an unbelievable job to get the club on the verge of qualifying for the Champions League. He's got to be in serious contention for Manager of the Year for the job he's done at the City ground. Probably pre-season, I think a lot of people tipped him to be in a relegation fight, but now look at them, third place with 9 games to go, above the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea's, etc. So look, he's really confounded any critics to get Nottingham Forest in contention for Champions League football as well. And although they are sometimes criticised as being a bit defensive and not maybe having a lot of possession, they're very effective, and they have got players at the top end of the pitch that can hurt you, the likes of the Chris Woods, the Elangas, the Hudson-Odois, Gibbs White. So yeah, he's done a great job to mould that team into a potential Champions League qualifying team. He's going into the final year of his contract this summer, so Forest will be desperate to keep him. They'll be looking to tie him down to a long-term contract and to reward him for the impressive job he's done, and just to sort of ease any fears that he could be prized away by another club. But yeah, I think Nuno's happy with life at Forest. Forest are obviously very happy with him as well, so I'm sure, as they're talking about trying to put plans in place to strengthen the squad, that the next plan will be to secure Nuno's future on a long-term contract as well, because Forest don't want this to be a one-season wonder. They want to sort of build on this, become regulars who are competing in the Premier League and also competing in Europe.